Hi, everyone. It's June 12th, 2025, and this is the Backdrop Weekly Dev Meeting. We're getting a late start today, and this will probably be a really short meeting. We've only got a small number of items on the agenda today. We have a handful of folks with us. My name is Nate Lampton. I'm Quick Sketch on the Internet. I'm a core committer and technical lead for the Backdrop project. And we'll go around the room and do some quick intros. We'll start with Martin, and then we'll go to Irina.
Hey, I'm Martin Price, Yorkshire Pudding around Backdrop, and I'm a developer in North East England, United Kingdom.
Thanks, Martin. Irina?
Hi, I'm Irina Zaks. I'm a web developer for higher ed and academia, and I really appreciate that there is this dev meeting every week where people can come and learn things that they need to learn. And I'm also very excited about launching Campus Drop project that is based on, this is in some ways takes the best of Campus Press project and takes the best of Backdrop and Drupal Power systems and puts them together. So thank you,
Yeah.
Dev, for making it possible.
What was the URL for that project that you showed us?
So I did presentation yesterday at Digital Collegium. It's a new project. It is not ready. The URL is campusdrop.online, and this is first time that we announced this thing. It's in development, and slides that I presented are there. And we expect
Great.
a lot of development questions related both to recipes, modules, and a lot of questions of on B and using B for deployments and all the great things around that.
Great. Yeah, I see that. I see that you just finished this. It's currently listed under the news and events section on backdropcms.org. There's an event that just happened yesterday that has more information about that. So
Yeah,
uh,
it was a higher ed event, and it was very well received, and there's lots of questions about it. And there's post on LinkedIn about it, and there will be post on Times Drop. I already agreed to do an interview with them.
wonderful. Okay, Jen, want to do your introduction?
Sure. Jen Lampton joining from Oakland, California.
All right. Well, why don't you go right into publicity and contrib, Jen?
Sure. So we have um, a couple of blog posts in the work, maybe one for 131, maybe one about the new homepage. We have new contributors. Somebody named Joe Worker has ported the form options attributes module and implemented an application to join contrib, which is great. And in the last week, we have one new contrib project, and that is the last updated module.
Okay, great. Let's see. So agenda items for today, we didn't have anything submitted ahead of time, but I did want to check in on a couple of issues for Backdrop 132, which is going to be the next minor release that comes out in September. Irina noted before the meeting that it's a little bit of a slow period, like it's the summer. But there are still some things that are moving forward. So we've checked in on this issue for the past couple of weeks, getting CKEditor 5 up to date. And Gozella has been continuing to iterate on the approach to make it so that we can continue supporting CKEditor 5 plugins as the way they are written right now with backwards compatibility, even though CKEditor 5 is changing their APIs to make loading plugins totally different. This pull request is in really good shape at this point. Yeah, it changes 161 files, but that's almost all CKEditor 5 just being updated. The magic file here is this CKEditor 5 prepare.js. And this basically renames spaces some things from the new approach to the previous approach so that nobody needs to change anything on the contrib side, which is great. There's also some changes in here where even though we don't need to change these values because they're being aliased in the backwards compatibility file that we've added. All of the core plugins have been updated to use the new locations so that we're not using the compatibility redirects like unnecessarily. So this will require a change record, of course, because Cicadator 5 is changing their APIs, but fortunately, our understanding is right now is that contrib modules won't need to make any changes to continue working, although they'll probably want to make changes just to avoid using the backwards compatibility layer. So this is really great. I think that we're at a point where we probably can pull this in. There's some things that could be improved, or maybe not improved, but expanded. That right now we're only aliasing these things that core actually depended on, but there's probably 100 namespaces here that all got renamed, and we could expand this out to include a lot more of the things that changed their names, but the ones that are in core, these are the only ones that are really necessary to alias. So I say, let's move forward with this. It gets us to the new loading mechanism. It gets us updated to the newer version of Cicadator. And then we have a nice long window to test to make sure just that the new version of Cicadator hasn't broken things before the release of Backdrop 132. So I think this is good to go as is, but we'll probably continue. There'll probably be more versions of Cicadator as well before Backdrop 132 comes out anyway. So I'm really excited about this. This looked like it was going to be an impossible task, but with Indigo Zell's efforts, it has turned into something not even very difficult for everybody else. So greatly appreciate all the effort that went into making that happen. I was looking through the 132 milestone today, and this issue cropped up as something that has been added to the milestone recently. HerbDuel is undertaking the effort here to add better responsive grid capabilities to views. And he has a pull request that's been created. Here's the video of it in action. The current responsive grid doesn't have the ability to change the number of items, I think. Like it is responsive and built out in the way that everything compresses, but I don't think that they collapse in this same way. This adds new options for making a minimum width of each cell and how much spacing you want in the gutter between each item. And these two options then use a new CSS to make these things happen. And then it adds the checkbox here for an unresponsive grid as another deprecated option. So we've had the HTML table before that we deprecated, and this basically deprecates the previous grid mechanism and uses a third grid option that is slightly better than the one that we had previously. So we kind of keep iterating on the views grid to make the oldest option a slightly better option, and now an even better option as the default. So it looks great. The main thing that this issue needs is it needs some more eyes. It needs review. It needs testing. See what people think about the new options, how well they work, and if the code is all fine. It's really quite a minimal set of changes, so I'm pretty optimistic about this. So this looks great. And that's all the items that I had for today, but I saw, Martin, you added a couple of items you wanted to talk about as well. So you want to go ahead and talk about this issue, 6925?
Yeah, I spotted this when I was developing a theme and noticed that the admin bar, and I noticed it had happened on another site, another couple of sites, including on like several backdrop properties. And if you can scroll down, there's a screenshot. So basically, if you set it the font size value for input.form search, then it will affect the admin bar menu search. So basically all I've expected behavior is just repeated the font rule that particular thing for form search, for the admin bar form search. So
yeah, I see exactly what you're saying here. And yeah, so let's try to
if
find a
you go
page
onto
here.
the front page,
Actually, this is happening even on backdropcms.org. It looks like looks like we've got enough menu items here because of Civi. Hang on, let's just make the font size a little smaller for the whole thing. There we go.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so this
So,
just needs to be using the
yeah, the
admin
same.
bar font
Yeah, pretty much.
variable. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I think as well, it makes sense that it also reapplies the actual font, because otherwise, if the theme has set a completely different font, it'll look out of kilter in the admin bar if the rest of the admin bar has one font and then the menu search has a different font, and also different some fonts used have at the same size actually have a different physical representation on the screen in terms of size. So it would make sense to also, that's the particular rule that we want to, we probably just want to repeat that in the bit that
Yeah, to have the more specific selector for the input itself,
Yeah.
because it's getting overridden because this is setting the height for everything in here unless there's something more specific, and in the case of this input, there's something more specific being applied here. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some efforts like as an alternative. I'm not sure this is a real alternative. They try to reset everything, like have a reset for this, something that's administrative, like this. But yeah, I don't know if a full reset would be a much bigger effort. I think maybe just focusing on this font size might be a good step for this. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, brand new issue. It's just opened. This just opened 15 minutes ago. Okay. Yeah, nice issue. It has an evident I mean it's clear that it's a problem, and it seems like it is a straightforward solution. So great.
Yeah.
Thank you for filing this.
No problem. And then the other one is just one that's been around for a while but just needs some eyes on it. Some to review the code and do some testing.
Yep. And yeah, we've talked about this one a couple of times, that it's not a comprehensive solution, but it solves the main problem that people are seeing, and so it's a good start. And yeah, like other issues, it's like CKEditor, for example, it's like, it moves us forward and it doesn't hurt anything and it's beneficial. So like let's, done is better than what's the done is better than perfect. So what's the phrase? Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, and don't let perfection stand in the way of improvement.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I said it was going to be a short meeting. That's all the things that we had on the agenda for today. Jen, is there anything you'd like to add?
Nope. I have an unrelated question, but we can stop the recording.
Okay. I feel like I'm going to put some pressure on you just because I'm really curious how the homepage of backdropcms.org is coming along, the redesign.
I wanted to share my screen, but I broke something, so that's what my unrelated question is.
Okay. Well, anyway, just as far as how it's coming along, do you want to make any kind of statement about timeline or progress, anything of that nature?
So where we're at is that the contents of the homepage between the bottom of the header and the top of the footer is done, and I would love it if we could deploy that today. But it's missing a couple of crucial elements that are included in the header and the footer. So that's what I'm working on, is trying to get the like try backdrop button in. And so I've thought I had it, but I can't figure out theme item list. So yeah, maybe after this meeting immediately, I can deploy the new homepage content, and then I can have a follow-up where I try and add the header, but I wanted to have it done together, and that's not happening. So I'll do it the other way around. But yeah.
So coming soon is the
Yeah, homepage
the answer.
content coming immediately soon. New header coming a little while after, and that's also something that'll go across all of our sites. So that will be nice when it's ready. Yeah.
I want to thank you very much for, all the effort and all the work, and for being so positive and taking, comments and suggestions and making all the things.
I'm gonna be so happy when it's up. So
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Okay. All right. Well, let's wrap it up for today, since we're at the top of the hour. And thanks everybody that joins these short meetings. And yeah, we'll see everybody on the internet. Thanks so much for joining.